Good afternoon, everybody. I am very happy to be here, and I'm also grateful. I'm very grateful. I'm grateful to the board of directors who accepted my application and nominated Andrew Nohle, and I'm grateful to all the trustees that voted for his induction. And actually, I'm also very grateful to Andrew Nohle himself and all the men and women like him who took the risk, persevered, and left me and my family a better country to live in. I obviously think it's important to remember Andrew Nohle himself, but I also see him as a representative of all those like him who built this country, whose name may never appear on a wall or a memorial. Andrew Nohle died 100 years ago, and with every passing year, his story was in more and more danger of being lost. His picture is on the wall in the courthouse of McKenzie County as the first commissioner, but that's not his story. Andrew Nohle's story showcases why the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame and its mission is actually so important. And now, because of the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame, it will be preserved. 6 years ago, when I was here to celebrate the induction of my grandfather, C.F. Martell, a good family friend was also here. Mr. Lloyd Lester, who spent many years on the Martell Ranch and had a unique friendship with Martell, was a gold mine of knowledge. He knew quite a bit about Nohle, and he would proudly show you a recipe that was handwritten on an original Nohle business tablet. Now, Lloyd is gone from this earth now, and he took a lot of stories with him. There comes a moment when if a story has not been saved, it's lost in time and known only to God. There is so much writtenness and importance and layers in the stories of those who have gone before us. I think even the video mentioned, think of what Nohle saw and experienced, and I found that little bit in a history book, a 100-year-old history book about how he was the first white rancher in the area. And I think, wow, what was that like? Not just for him, but for the people who were already there. I mean, that's how I am. Anyway, Nohle went on to lay the foundations for so much in western North Dakota that we depend on. It wasn't just the banks, the businesses, and the schools he started, and it wasn't just the roads and the irrigation projects he oversaw. It was the helping hand he gave to his neighbors, the feed in times of drought, the loans, many that were never repaid, or the jobs provided so that so many could get their own start. His accomplishments, whether we realize it or not, we are still feeling today, either directly or indirectly, in the foundation that he built for others to build on themselves. And we should never forget where we came from and who, through the toil and hardships, paved the way for us in our future. As a side note, I hope you'll indulge me a little bit. I have a couple little stories that kind of tickled me in the aftermath of all this. Andrew Nohle came west in 1881, well before it was common to have a camera to record your life. And when I was putting together his nomination binder, there was very few pictures available to me. Just that family photo and then the one for the commissioners. When Nohle was announced on Facebook as the winner, a lady made a comment. And she made the comment that her parents met and worked on Nohle's place. So of course that intrigued me, and I messaged her. I did not know her then, and she messaged me back, and she sent me pictures. And one of those pictures was in the early 1920s that made it onto this video that you saw. And so that was like a thrill for me, to have that picture come in afterwards. And then while I was researching an article I wrote a few years ago about Lewis Clark in North Dakota, I came across a notation in a travel log about a little lake that the expedition camped at. And it was described by Meriwether Lewis in his journals, and it's now known as Nohle Lake. And that is where Nohle's Door Area Ranch was. And so obviously he named the lake after himself, where he built his ranch, but I just think that is amazing and so cool that his ranch and where he settled was actually at a spot where Lewis and Clark camped. As trustees, I think it's important for us to seek out these stories, especially for those who have few, if any, relatives and friends left to act as their advocates. Andrew Nohle is a prime example of this. He married late, He had no children, but he was a mentor to many. But his holdings are long ago dispersed, and he really had no one left to advocate for him, except a great-great niece born over 50 years after his death, who accidentally learned of all he accomplished. And so I once again thank the board of directors and the trustees for making sure that his story is in the Hall of Fame archives.